Borrow a tea bag.
Only if you bring it back. You can have a tea bag, Brian. You can't borrow one.
What are you playing?
Tomb Raider 3.
She's drowning.
Yeah.
Is that the point of the game?
Depends what mood you're in, really.
What sort of mood you in, then?
Well, I got a letter from my ex-girlfriend this morning, 3 months too late, explaining why she dumped me. It was full of "you'll always be special" and "I'll always love you" platitudes designed to make me feel better while simultaneously appeasing her deep-seated sense of guilt for running off with a slimy little city boy called Dwayne and destroying my faith in everything which is good and pure.
So it didn't really work, then?
No, it made me want to drown things.
If your friends are nerdy and you are nerdy too, I want to talk to you. Friends talking nerdy.
Okay, Sony. This presentation was very, very disjointed.
It was weird. Did
very
you see
confusing.
their segues? Their segues were very interesting.
That's the one thing that I will say, thank goodness. Like, most people, like, come on stage, they announce the games and, like, make this awkward speech, and I'm just like, okay, I don't care.
This guy can't speak English that well.
Yeah.
We're going to have someone dub over him talking, and I can't hear either of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas with Sony, they were just like, we're just going to show you the games.
Yeah.
And, like, they went through and they just showed trailer, like, footage, like, in-game footage or just, like, a trailer. And I was just like, most people didn't like that. I did.
I loved it.
Yeah. A lot of people, like, from what I'm reading, like, some people were just like, oh, I didn't like it. Like, I want the people to, like, explain where the game is going or, like, what's more about it. I'm just like, they'll do that eventually.
Let the game speak for itself.
Exactly.
That's all I want to see.
And I don't want to see, like, that one bit of E3 that we saw, that guy that was talking, I forgot the game specifically, but it doesn't matter about the game. He was just laughing every other word and just awkward. And I don't want to see that. I'd much rather see trailers than anything else.
Exactly. So for Sony, they started off in a church, which is the same church that was in the Last of Us trailer.
Nice.
Like, that is what I would like. And if I were in that audience, I would think this was awesome. But for someone watching at home, I was like, okay. Like, I don't... Because then they had to, like, go on a brief intermission, and I was just like, was that it? And then they're just like, oh, yeah, they're just moving venues. And it's just like, oh, this is so confusing.
Look at the thing. Look at the thing.
Yeah. And so, like, the IGN commentators came back, and I was just like, I don't want to see you guys right now. Like... What are you doing?
I don't like people talking over shit they're seeing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm seeing it as the first time, you're seeing it for the first time. I don't want to hear you talking about it. Like, I'm just like, shut up, let me watch it.
So for The Last of Us, they played that trailer. And
great trailer.
The trailer went from Ellie kissing her boo to then Ellie...
At a hoedown.
Yeah. To then Ellie slicing some dude's throat.
So good.
At a hoedown.
It was
great.
Intense.
It's everything that I would love in a game trailer, where it's like, hey, like last year they teased the guitar playing, and I was like, cool. I mean, I'm assuming that's a video, not a game engine. Yep. And then they were like, hey, here's this video, and I'm like, oh man, that's a great looking video. Look at her freckles, you know. And then it cuts, and then you're like, oh, what's going on? And then it's gameplay. Love that.
Yep. So that was really, really interesting, and I thought the trailer was great. The gameplay footage was great, but everybody is focused on the kiss.
Who cares?
In the beginning.
It looks great. Yeah,
and I'm just like, you have this really badass game, and you guys are so concerned about two women kissing.
Well, the other thing, too, is if they played the expansion for The Last of Us, they would already know that the character is actually...
Yeah, that's what I was just like, didn't Ellie come out, like, a game ago? Yep. Like, you guys why don't you know this?
and we're talking about comic book nerds here, who I'm sure probably have a healthy porn collection as well. Why are they complaining? about that.
Yeah.
Because they don't want politics in their video games, and it's just like, when did two people...
That's an excuse. That is an excuse. I hate that.
Yeah.
That is not politics. That's just an excuse to not see something they may not be comfortable with. And just because they're not comfortable with, fuck them. You know, they need to grow up.
These are the same people that had a problem with the Dragon Age games because you can play as, like, gay characters. It's annoying.
I mean, Fable, Bully. I mean,
exactly.
I don't care. It's fun. If you want to play a game a certain way, play a game a certain way. If the character is developed a certain way, you don't have to play the game. Don't like a game? Don't buy it.
Amen. Yeah. Queers are here. We're not going nowhere.
People that get
allies too.
Yeah. People like that remind me of this woman, a customer I had at Best Buy, and she was looking for the fourth Die Hard movie, which one should have tipped me off at what type of person she was. Two, she was looking for it, and I was like, "Oh, you want to get this one here? This is unrated. This has all the language and whatnot." And she's like, "I don't want that. I'm getting this for my kids." She got the PG-13 rated one, which has all kinds of violence, all kinds of murder, shooting, but you can't have John McClane say yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, because that will turn a kid bad.
Yeah. Oh. This is America, man. People want PG-13 violence.
And, you know, I challenge anybody out there. If you are uncomfortable, if you think something is too much entertainment-wise, instead of complaining about it, use your resources to make something that you do like.
Yeah.
It's
so easy to complain when you don't have the skill to make something yourself.
It's like Kirk Cameron and his sister Candace Cameron. They're both hardcore right-wing Christian types. Kirk Cameron's an asshole. Candace Cameron has the same mindset as he does, but you don't hear her making the same type of stupid, ridiculous comments. Yeah. She helps create programming that wholesome, whatever, it's garbage I'll never watch. But it's important for you know, that type of entertainment is good for some folks, I guess. But create something that you think will bring an audience there instead of complaining about it for other people.
Yeah, and it's I mean, you see this from the gaming community, and the gaming community is one of the toxic groups in a way. They're also the most loving, passionate, and fun groups as well. But if you're not making the game, you don't have a say in it.
But groups like that, and you know, Star Wars has their own group. Like the actress who played Rose in the Last Jedi, she had to delete her Instagram account due to the amount of nonsense that was coming her way. And you know, other bits of fandom out there, like the idiots with comic books and whatnot. It's just
man, Dan Slott was getting death threats because he changed Spider-Man's character. Just because he got possessed by Dr. Octopus.
Yep.
The nerding community, like, no matter if it's gaming, anime, like, movies, whatever, it's toxic. Like, it's
and
still...
that's the funny thing, too, is I feel like the toxic bits are people who are, like, Fairweather fans. They're popular, like, nostalgia. They haven't touched it in like 15, 20, 25, 30 years.
Like the comic book folks. They grew up watching, you know, Spider-Man and his amazing friends, and that's all they know, but they want to comment on absolutely everything.
Or Star Wars. I mean, you have a generation of fans from the 70s, and then you have a generation of the fans from the 80s and 90s, and now you have kids now with these 3 new films coming out are fans of Star Wars in their own right.
That's why I really appreciate game developers as of lately. They are literally like putting out this content with like female characters, like POC, which problematic in its own way because like there's not that many, but like there's still, I guess, female representation. But like they're putting out.
Sorry to interrupt one. I was just to say there's effort being made. Things start slow, but it snowballs and hopefully will become. Yeah.
I mean,
I see like minimal effort. Like, not gonna lie, there's very minimal effort when it comes to POC characters. Yeah. But in terms of like this year, I saw a lot of female representation, and it's good to see game developers that are basically just like, this is our game. If you don't like this female character. If you don't want to play as a woman, don't play the fucking game.
Yeah.
And what they will find out is really what Marvel is finding out as well, because I read this article last night about Marvel. I mean, there's a misconception that they're not making sales because of their diverse characters, whether it's people of color or women or whatever, and really not the case. Marvel is consistently still selling the most comic books out there, for one, and two, Marvel each month has, or like each year they have like over 100 active titles. So would somebody going into a comic book shop and having $5 to spend for one comic, are you going to spend that $5 on a character you know, or someone else that may be good or may not be good, but you have no history with?
It's hard.
It is hard. And
it's like overwhelming variety.
Yeah, and but the important part is that there are people out there making those options and not just having lily white guys be, leading everything.
And I feel like that's the reason why the gaming community, or like the game titles that are being put out right now, is so white. Like, not gonna lie, it's very white. I think this E3, I can't even list like how many main characters that were actually
99%
POC.
of them.
Yeah, like I think the person in Gears of War, like the trailer, the woman, I think she's POC.
Like Hispanic.
Yeah. So I think she was like the only one.
She had a team.
Like literally her and then like side characters in The Last of Us.
Yeah.
But like for the most part, there's no main character that is a person of color.
Yeah.
Which is why like last year I was super excited for Watch Dogs, because the main character in that, I forget his name, but he was badass and he was, a person of color.
Yeah.
So like
Beyond Good and Evil 2. Female person of color.
And she had a very amazing
main character.
Her too. So I think there's like peppered in. There's a couple people of color, but in the gaming community, I just wish there was more representation as far as developers hiring people of color to like create main characters that are people of color, because like it's still an area that's like vastly underrepresented.
And what Black Panther showed is that there are audiences out there. These companies just need to put the financial support to these people that are making that content, and the audiences will come.
Exactly.
You see that with a lot of indie developers. You have things like Stardew Valley. There was a dating sim, and it was based around
I would have failed.
Gay fathers.
Oh, yes. Dream Daddy.
Dream Daddy.
I love that.
Oh, my God. Dream Daddy is the funniest game ever. And not only do you have a player of color, but you have all kinds of colors, from pink to green to yellow to black, like onyx black. It's
Dream Daddy
super funny.
Oh, my God. So amazing. That game
Tim,
was...
do you know about Dream Daddy?
Oh my God, I'm not. I don't know.
I was telling Mitchell about Dream Daddy, and he literally was just like, "You are fucking lying. Get away from me." And I was just like, "Mitchell, please look it up. It's Dream Daddy. You get to choose your very own Dream Daddy." I went with Goth Daddy because like I need a Goth Daddy.
It's a dating sim,
but it was amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
Yes, it's so amazing.
I really wish somebody.
Here they are. Here's all the daddies. There's Brian, Matt, Joseph, Hugo, Craig, Damien, and Robert.
And the best part is that they're all single dads. It's super cute.
That's where they get the name Dream Daddy.
Is he a bear? I don't know.
No. Brian's the bear.
Bear, yes.
Eric points out to go nuts.
So I love indie games, especially on Steam when they're free.
Yep.
I mean, I picked up Dream Daddy when it was free. It was fun. I love a good sim. They're silly. They're creative. They're unique. What was it? Stardew Valley. It's so impressive to see something like Stardew Valley where the game is made by one person and he just updates it as he goes. Mm-hmm. He updated romantic relationships to be of every gender. You even have, I believe, a character that's gender non-specific. And then you have multiple ways to play the game and a bunch of time that you can do it. And you have one person who works on something passionately, and they create the greatest game in 5 years. At least. And that's why the indie developer and the indie community pushes a lot of stuff like this, because you have a really great indie game, and then you have kind of two ways to go: self-publish or sell out. And sometimes, like Bungie was able to keep a lot of control of the studio. Where others, like Lionhead Studios, they just get absorbed and spit out. Or the guy who made Stardew Valley, he self-published, and now he has a game on almost every platform, and he is doing very well for himself, and he's still a teacher.
And this just goes to show that there's no excuse at this point. Like, it's 2018, about to be 2019. There's no excuse as to why games right now are still, like, major title games are still so whitewashed.
Entertainment, period. I mean, the fact that we have this little show right here that 20 years ago we would not be able to do at all. The fact that I can write a book and publish it on my own, which you can go to friendstalkingnerdy.com to find out more information about. But the fact that you can do that, the fact that you can put out your own music, like Laz, the guy who does I mean, there is a lot more freedom to put whatever you want in the hands of the general public. You just got to work hard at it. The problem comes when you do have the big companies buy them up, because then they want to, for the most part,
they want to conform to the puzzle.
Make you fit into the cookie cutter thing. And I think it's going to take the indie people in all forms of entertainment, games, comic books, movies, or whatever, to open the doors that the big studios won't, because they're too chicken shit to do it.
Well, and that's the other thing. Like, you have companies like EA, Ubisoft, Sony, Microsoft. They are the cookie cutter. The cookie cutter works. The cookie cutter gets a large spectrum of the population. And then you have an indie developer who not only hits a large spectrum of the community, but they also include untapped potential.
And there's nothing wrong with cookie cutter. The only problem I see is that these companies, and same with Hollywood, same with the music industry, they're too scared to take a chance.
It's worked.
Yeah, it's always worked. This focus study said if we do it this way, try something different.
But it's ridiculous too, because like they have the money to experiment and explore and take risks. They already have the established audience. They don't need to worry about people leaving, and the people that do leave, fuck them, bye. But like at the end of the day, they'll still make money. So I feel like these gaming companies need to take more of a risk and like hire more people that are of diverse backgrounds so that they can get more creative stories.
And there may be some risks that some companies take that may fail, but the ones that do hit are gonna hit big.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Black Panther was a risk, but they put it out and look what the fuck happened. I mean, and that needs to happen more in entertainment as a whole.
Absolutely agree. I mean, and that's the other thing too. You see good characters or good ideas grow and develop over time. I mean, we've seen more than 30 plus years of Mario. We have Crash Bandicoot. We have Sonic the Hedgehog. Some of the weirdest shit comes out of Sonic the Hedgehog in gaming, furry, all kinds of different passions of Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog struggles to keep like a good thing going, but if you make a good title, it will stay around for a long time.
So Bethesda, if you're listening, hire me.
Yeah. Well, and that was really cool. Like you have all of these characters that are going into their vault, and you've always been able to custom create your character for Fallout. Sorry.
I do want to talk about this game, which also added to like the diversity element, which is Ghost of Tsushima. I'm probably saying that wrong, but that game looked beautiful. I had no idea what it was about when it first started, and I was just like, is this a Samurai Champloo game? I swear, I got super excited because I was just like, are they making Samurai Champloo into a game?
I think they already have a game. Came out on the PS2.
I need to look that up.
Yeah.
But they like announced it and they just showed the footage of it, and I was just like, holy shit, this game is beautiful.
Yeah.
And then like it goes into the story, and like other than the environment, like I was just wanting more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I definitely want to play this game because it looks great, and like it looks like it's going to have a really nice story to it.
The gameplay mechanics around the fighting look amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was super excited for that. There's this game, Zero Gravity. I don't get it. It was just like a trailer, but it was like, it's called Control, and it's where you can manipulate gravity.
Oh, I totally thought that was going to be PsyOps 2. Totally thought that was going to be PsyOps 2.
But I was just like, okay, cool. So,
how about that Spider-Man trailer, though?
Oh my god.
That was going to be the last game that I talked about.
Oh, really?
But we can talk about it now.
Okay.
Yeah, Tim. One thing I want to know is, because two of my favorite Spider-Man games are from they were spin-offs of the Sam Raimi movies. For the PS2, but it was Spider-Man think of it like Grand Theft Auto meets Spider-Man. It was a boxing game where
the Spider-Man 2 video game, the one that was based off of the Dr. Octopus storyline, that was the best Spider-Man game I've ever played.
Except for the final boss battle. I could not get past it, so fuck that game.
I beat it. I understand. It was terrible.
But I hope they keep that open world aspect of it, because some of the fun parts of playing that game were just putting it on and swinging through New York, doing nothing but just swinging through New York. So,
okay, so I'll choose a different ending game to end on.
Thanks, Tim.
for Ubisoft.
We're about to wrap up. No, we're about to wrap up Sony.
Okay.
Resident Evil 2 is getting a remake.
Yeah, looks cool.
How do you feel about the faces? They look different.
I mean, if you saw the first one, they were just polygons.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then, I don't know if you played Resident Evil 4.
Which one was that?
That was the one where they were in Africa.
Yeah, I did play that one.
Yeah.
With the character that held me back, and I literally was just like...
No, that was Resident Evil 5 when they were in Africa. Resident Evil 4 was when they were in eastern Spain or something like that.
I didn't play that one.
So you had Leon, the main character of 2, saving the president's daughter in Resident Evil 4. And that was when the game kind of stepped away from the horror genre and made it more of a transition into the action genre.
Got it.
And that was when they stepped away from zombies into weird tentacle monsters. Japan.
Yeah.
So the thing is, it's really funny because if you look at Leon in that game, he's like jacked, and then if you look at Leon in like Resident Evil 2, he's like
a twink,
like 19 years old, fresh out of the academy. Dear God, I'm not ready for this. It looks great. I love Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2 was the first Resident Evil I played. If you're from overseas, it's Biohazard. It's always been called Biohazard.
Yep.
Looks fun. Excited.
Yeah, it looks definitely really good.
Yeah.
Justin Roiland is making a video game. I didn't catch the name of it, but I thought it was going to be a...
Justin Roiland is from Walking Dead, correct?
No.
Okay.
Rick and Morty.
Oh, yeah. That looks weird.
I thought it was going to be a Rick and Morty game. It's not a Rick and Morty game. It's something weird.
Yeah.
So, we'll see more of that.
What's the guy from Walking Dead? I forget his name. No? Okay.
Spoilers.
We're getting there.
Okay.
We're getting there.
Okay.
Actually, we're there. Death Stranding has Norman Reedus.
Norman Reedus, yes. That game looks creepy as fuck.
I don't get it. Like, I keep getting frustrated with these trailers and gameplay footage, because like the more that I watch it, the more confused I am, because I'm just like, okay, what is this game about? Like, you're not explaining it.
Yeah.
the like baby comes out of nowhere. Like, I guess the baby,
he's like eating a baby or something, and the baby's like just gestating inside of him, and then it's like crawling around on his skin invisibly. It was so weird. But
so, like, from my understanding, it looks like the baby can detect these invisible monsters that, like, if they touch you, you get sent to the past. I don't fucking know.
Looking up Doctor Who there.
Yeah.
It's such a clusterfuck.
Are you my mummy?
So that would be a mix of 2 episodes.
I forget the name of the developer, but he was the guy who
Hideo Kojima.
Metal Gear Solid guy?
Yes.
Yep.
So he was kind of blackballed by the industry, and he was kind of tied down by a contract, and he had a lot of adoration from the community because he is just an amazing storyteller, an amazing developer, and who did he have a contract with that he was having?
Konami.
Mm-hmm. So this company would not let him go, but would not let him do anything. So he's just kind of sitting in this purgatory, and it seemed like he was sitting in purgatory for a long time. And from what I'm seeing from these videos and this like potential gameplay, I'm gonna honestly say it might be a commentary on how he was feeling while he was there.
Damn, that's probably why it's so, like, weird.
Yeah.
Like,
he's a weird guy, though. He also made, like, a lot of weird games. So, like, I don't know if you played Metal Gear Solid. It's fucking weird.
But it was a really good game, too, so I think that's why it earned him as much of the credit that he has, because he has a brilliant mind, and he's, like, a really good storyteller, which is why I'm just like, okay, take the wheel and, like, take me to your vision.
Yes.
But, like...
I will let you show me.
Yeah.
So
I'm, like, totally confused right now, dude.
Yeah. Even like the 45-minute cutscenes.
Yeah. I'll be confused. I will enjoy the confusion. I want to see the final product. I'm excited.
I did not like the ending where that girl was eating the bug. And, like, you could hear the crunching. Yeah. I literally was just like, did you really have to add that? Yeah. Like, you could have left.
We're going for realism here.
Yeah. Well, have you ever played around with Asian cultures, like demons and, like, monsters and stuff like that? So, yeah, I think it's perfect.
In anime, high school D&D.
Yeah. So, again, don't know too much about it. Really excited. I'm going to let it see where it goes.
Even if it's anywhere near the worst Metal Gear Solid game, it's probably going to have some great.
It looks
great gameplay.
Amazing.
So, lastly, we're going to wrap up with the studio that I have no notes on. Nintendo.
Oh my god, Nintendo! Oh my god! So, Super Smash Brothers was announced.
That was the big one.
Very excited. They announced that there's going to be all of the characters that have been in previous Smash Brother games. So that
you get to play as the Wii Fit trainer who's got a facelift now.
Yeah,
I did see that.
So a lot of characters, they touched on it. They have edited movesets. They might have tweaked things here and there. Might be cosmetic. It might actually be like pretty in depth. Certain characters like Daisy, Princess Peach's counterpart, will have their own like character layout. You'll see like the new characters like the Inklings. They introduced a new character after, which was the dragon from Metroid. I forget. Riley. So that's really cool. He looks crazy. Are you looking at the name? Yeah. So you have everyone from Street Fighter to Final Fantasy,
Pac-Man.
Snake, Pac-Man. Everybody's going to be in it. You're going to start off with the core set of the original Smash Brothers characters, and by playing the game, you will unlock other characters.
I played Smash Brothers Brawl yesterday, and I won. Nice. To my surprise.
And according to the notes here, it looks like this game will work with a GameCube controller.
Yep.
Awesome.
That was another big thing that like my coworker was super excited for, is that you get to use GameCube.
My old shit will work again.
The GameCube controller has been the staple for competitive Smash Brothers. So I mean, I like the Switch's Pro controller. I'll go with that.
I could just imagine some nerd like the Color of Money, but the video game version coming in with like a special case.
Oh my god!
It does get that intense.
Yeah.
And the GameCube controller is the #1 TV destroyer.
Yeah. People throw it. The Smash Brothers competitive fighting community is toxic.
It's so bad. So bad.
People have quit just out of spite. Fights have broken out at tournaments that were not video game related.
I used to set up the game room for anime conventions, and that was the big draw, is that the Smash Bros tournaments that would go on. And there was a few times where I brought my own personal controllers and like hooked them up. And I literally started with a disclaimer. I was just like, if any of you fucking nerds break my controller, I will personally give you like my receipt so you can see how much money I freaking paid for these, because you will be paying these, you will be paying me money.
Yeah. My favorite is characters or people who go to these tournaments and like wear masks, hide their identities just so that they can remain autonomous and not have any sort of feedback from the community.
And don't shower.
Yeah,
They
that's
don't
gross.
shower. Axe body spray, disclaimer, Axe body spray does not count as a shower.
Nope.
So other than Smash Brothers, Pokemon was also, and that game looks cute. I definitely want to play it. Yes, it looks cute.
So Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee.
Yep.
They announced that game was going to be coming out prior to E3, but they announced at E3 that if you buy the Pokemon controller, it comes with Mew in it. Huzzah! It's going to be the original Kanto with the Pokemon Go play style with catching, but you can battle, which is fun. It looks like a mixture of Pokemon Go and Pokemon Coliseum.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you can even import your Pokemon Go characters into the game, which is really cool, because I caught a lot.
I just recently caught Articuno, so I'm super excited to introduce that into the game. It looks fun. I still want to see a little more gameplay because I like battling Pokemon, so if you take away the battling aspect into like throwing the ball.
Did you watch the after show for Nintendo? They have like a whole YouTube video with more gameplay footage, so you can go and like look up like actual longer gameplay.
Hopefully they put in more than just Gen 1, because I mean, I played through that game multiple times, or if there's just different content. Heart Gold and Soul Silver were my favorite versions of the mobile Pokemon, so you know, they start off with Gen 2, and then they go into Gen 3 and go back to Gen 1. So it was probably one of the most complete Pokemon titles, which was a lot of fun.
What other games? Nintendo fan? I don't know.
Fortnite was a big release for the Switch. So not only did they announce Fortnite was coming out for the Switch, by 10 p.m. after they made 10 a.m. after they made the announcement, it was downloadable and playable.
Nice.
Which was really, really cool. There wasn't too many. I thought we were going to be talking about Infinity Gauntlet, so I was ready to talk about that. But Pokemon was the big one. Smash Brothers for sure. They had Star Fox. There wasn't anything crazy. There was a lot of focus around the new Fire Emblem game as well. Yeah. Have you ever played Fire Emblem?
I played one of them, but I didn't really get too into it.
I like that they've gone back to the Game Boy Advanced mechanic, but then they have a focus on actual like battling and style. It almost looks like Dynasty Warriors meets the Game Boy Advance version of Fire Emblem. I hope they don't split it into two games, because they've done that in the past, where it's like Fire Emblem Red and Blue, you know, kind of style. And I mean, you're seeing that with Pokemon too.
Yeah. There's no Animal Crossing, so I'm pissed.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not pissed. I'm sad.
you can play as the villager in Super Smash Bros.
Doesn't count. Does not count.
8 different villagers.
Nope, doesn't count.
Mega Man 11 is going to be coming out in October. They showcased Mega Man 11. That looks really cool. That game will get its own amiibo. I'm already pre-ordered. So I've played every Mega Man game that's come out.
Yeah.
From Mega Man to Mega Man 11, from Mega Man X to Mega Man X 9. And I've played Battle Network, Star Force, the GameCube games. I've played a lot of Mega Man. So, Mega Man 11. Yeah.
Is that it?
That's all I can really think of right now. They had a few, like, food titles and, like, quick, shuffle games. Nothing that really stood out to me that was really crazy.
All right.
Yeah.
So, what is the game that everybody is anticipating the most then? Like,
Me?
of all these...
Individually?
Yeah, of all these announcements. Kingdom Hearts.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man does look really, really good.
Mine is Cyberpunk 2077.
You were salivating at that one when it was in there?
Yeah.
I literally, almost screamed at that. I was just like, yes! Oh my god! Oh, yeah, and Kingdom Hearts. I don't know, there's a lot. I'm gonna be, poor.
So I got Kingdom Hearts, Mega Man, and then I'm just going to keep my eye on everything because I am very careful with E3. E3 is the hype train.
Yes.
And then when I see something I like, I will keep my eye on it, but I will be very, very critical. Mm-hmm. I'll be looking at it 2 months from now, and I'm like, this doesn't look like what we were looking at E3. This looks weird.
Yeah, pretty much never.
The developer got fired. The project lead got fired.
Yep.
They're running out of money. So take E3 with a grain of salt. It is the hype train.
Yep.
It is the graduation party. It's you're almost there. You're not quite there.
Well, I mean,
gotta get there.
Kind of like San Diego Comic-Con.
Yep.
I mean, same type of deal. They'll have the big announcements for something coming a year or 2, 3 years down the road.
Yep.
Nice. Well, that's it.
All right.
To be continued.
All right. Bye-bye.
X gon' give it to you. Wait for you to get it on your own. X gon' deliver to you. Go get some.
You're gonna do a superhero landing. Wait for it. Woo! Superhero landing.
Yeah, that's really hard on your knees.
Totally impractical. They all do it. You're a lovely lady, but I'm saving myself for Francis. That's why I brought him.
I prefer not to hit a woman, so please play.
I mean, that's why I brought her? Oh, no, finish your tweet. That's fine. Just give us a second. There you go. Hashtag it. Go get her, Tiger.
Oh, I so pity the dude who pressures her into prom sex.
Subscribe to Friends Talking Nerdy on iTunes, the Google Play Music Store, as well as Spotify. Remember to support Friends Talking Nerdy on Patreon.